Once the table of contents dialog box appears, you can see that there are several options available for modifying your table of contents, but we'll come back to that in just a second. You'll also note that there are options for showing your page numbers or not, as well as right aligning the page numbers, in addition to changing the way the tab leader appears next to the page numbers. What we're focusing on though is the options button over here on the lower right. Once we click on that, we are presented with the table of contents options box, and you will see that there are three checkboxes here: styles, outline levels, and table entry fields. The first two are always selected by default whenever you're using Word 2010. Please note that the styles choice has the heading levels that we saw from the add text drop down, as well as the heading choices that we saw from the styles gallery. The outline levels is sort of an outdated method for marking and inserting your table of contents, and we didn't discuss that during this demonstration today. The third checkbox, table entry fields, is actually related to the Alt-Shift-O method that we used to use the marking method and add those field codes to our document for our table of contents. A best practice suggestion for this dialog box is to unselect or uncheck the methods that you didn't use before you click OK, so that the appropriate items are included in your table of contents. So for example, if we had only used the table entry fields method with the Alt-Shift-O keyboard command, we would want to uncheck styles as well as outline levels on this screen. The last thing that you might be curious about once you've inserted your table of contents is how do you update it once you've got it in there. So we've got several options and suggestions for updating the page numbers as well as updating the entire table if wholesale changes have been made to your document. We'll also look at different ways that you can modify the appearance of your table of contents. In order to update the table, you'll want to locate it at the top of your document. Keep in mind that when you insert it, it inserts it exactly where the cursor is blinking. So typically this is on the first or second page of your document. Once I've located my table of contents, I can right-click on it and I can choose Update Field, and I'll be presented with this Update Table of Contents dialog box. The two choices here are very different. The first one is strictly what it says. It's only going to update the page numbers, and this is helpful if paragraphs have been moved, and that's it. The second choice, Update Entire Table, is helpful if text has been changed for the section headers that are being linked in the table of contents. It's also helpful if text has been added and moved. It will also update the page numbers in addition to the text. Modifying your table. Back to the Table of Contents group, again in the References tab on the ribbon in Word 2010. We're going to engage that Table of Contents drop-down that we looked at before. And inside here, we're going to click on that Insert Table of Contents option way down at the bottom of the screen. We've seen this screen before, but this time we're worried about modifying the appearance of our table of contents. So we're going to locate the Modify button over there and click on that. And the first thing that we'll see is this style selection. And essentially this screen, you are selecting the level that you'd like to change the appearance for. We'll leave it on TOC1, which is level 1, but you'll see that you can do all the way up to level 9 here, and you can change all sorts of things, and we'll look at that on the next screen. So we'll leave it on TOC1 and click on Modify, and that takes us to the Modify Style screen. Primarily you would be focused on the formatting group right here. You can see that you can change the font size, character formatting, alignment and justification, paragraph spacing, as well as indenting. All of these things can be changed for an entire level, and that will impact the rest of the table of contents for everything that was said at that level. So it's a nice wholesale way to make changes to your table of contents. Last but not least, what else is available? While we have covered quite a few options for marking, inserting, and updating your table of contents, there are certainly third-party programs out there that are not created by Microsoft that will allow you to create a table of contents in Word 2010. A popular one for the legal industry is the DocX Tools program, which has a table of contents element. It actually uses the built-in Word features for creating a table of contents. It creates its own group on the ribbon in Word 2010 right there on the References tab. But the idea is that it streamlines it a little bit for folks in the legal industry in order for them to create a table of contents. Thank you for your time and have a great day.